NWA, which was really, really tough messaging for my parents. And yeah, that was tough. So I mean, the Sprite stuff, like what? I mean, that's something you curious about? No, man, I'm not touching all that stuff. Man. People rapping. I get it. That's not. Oh, okay. All right. I was like, I got an old CD that I did. You want to check my stuff out? Yeah, let me hear what you was doing. Boom, boom, that, we just rock. He was like, oh, the beat's phony, but you was all right. You know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, my pop riding with me. Like we together. So the relationship, the connection, the bond is preserved through my attempt to authentically and genuinely understand. So at the point that I show understanding, what I have revealed to him is that, son, I have some concern about this language and these messages. He get that. But then he can tap into the concern at a deeper level at the point that we're still together and I'm still present and visible and in conversations with him. So now he turned on Dirty Sprite knowing my dad ain't really feeling this, and perhaps I shouldn't bump this quite as loud because I know this probably won't rub him the wrong way. So what I noticed was that when he played Dirty Sprite 2, he turned it down a little bit. He chose to modify his process. Taking in consideration, I had a real conversation with my dad. I told him what I get from it, so now I really understand him in the process. He got to learn who I am as a human being, a little more about my history and my journey. And we're still connected. There's not tension, it's not this wedge that's driven between us that we've allowed, just missing each other. So, showing understanding was my first level of intervention. It's least restrictive. I didn't tell him what to do. I didn't try to guide him. I just sought to understand what's going on. And as a result of that, I got information and I got greater insight into who he is as a person at this stage in his life. Second level, let's say you show understanding and they don't seem to have done anything different. Or you can't see anything tangible that's happened that has shifted your child in a direction in which you believe is most healthy for them. At the point that you make that determination, you can go to the next one, which is giving a parent message or an I message. Now, the parent message / I message is when you, as a parent, decide that I want to reveal to my child how their behavior, how their decisions are impacting me. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm not requiring anything of them. What I'm choosing to do is to nurture the relationship that I have with my child by showing up in my humanity in this relationship. I am human as your mom. I as your dad. I am a human being. I am imperfect. I have feelings. And guess what? I know you love me. I love you and I know you love me. And because we love one another, what I know is that you don't want to hurt me. I know you don't intend to hurt me. And because you love me, I know that if I was hurt, or if something is wrong with me, that would concern you. You will be concerned about that. So because that power exists in the parent-child relationship, at the second stage in the parenting skills model, if showing understanding has not rendered the kinds of results that you're seeking as the parent, then you would move to showing up with a parent message, I message. And a parent message, I message is simply this. It always starts with I. Because what you're doing, and you're modeling this for your children, is you're owning your own thoughts and you're owning your own feelings in the relationship with your child. You are owning your stuff, not you made me. It has nothing to do with them. This is what is happening with me. You're reporting, you're revealing, and you're reflecting to your children how their conduct choices impact you on a feeling level. You do that, one, because you want them to be aware that they do not exist in isolation. You do not exist in isolation. Everything that you do has an impact on your family. We are indelibly connected. Everything that you do has an impact on your family. So when you make foolish choices that put you at risk, you're putting your family at risk. You're putting your mother at risk. You're putting your father at risk. You're putting my sanity at risk when you make foolish choices. And if you love me and want me to be well and you want me to be okay, as I know you do, I need to inform you that when you come in 2 hours past your curfew, I am petrified. I'm scared. I'm scared to death.
And that's different than saying I'm mad, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Yes. I know you want the best for me, but when you come in 2 hours past your curfew, I am petrified. I am unable to sleep. I am full of anxiety. I am shaking. I am 1 second from grabbing the phone and calling 911 to get the police involved. My energy has been drained. I am exhausted. And that's it. Do anything else but watch what your child does with that. It'll give you some insight into where your child is in their development and their ability to acknowledge and recognize how they are connected to their family, and their ability to do a self-analysis, to make a determination. Do I want to continue doing this? I mean, is the benefit really worth the fallout that's created when I do this? Because I don't want my mother to be, my dad to be in the house petrified. I don't want them to be scared. They do a lot for me. I know she loves me. Like, she doesn't deserve this. I'm try a little harder at this. And then you just see. Could be that showing up as a human being, expressing your feelings and owning your feelings was enough to give your child some motivation and encouragement. Now again, this is going to be a lot more effective when you have a healthy, strong relationship with your child. Because if you have been a person who's neglected your child, who has hurt your child, and who your child has experienced as you're not here concerned about my well-being, why should I be worried about you? Why should I be worried about you? Because if we really giving our messages, I can oozy you down with some eyes based on my experience with you. And a lot of our parents find themselves in that situation because many of our parents are trying to recover from a long history of events that has caused their child to be discouraged and discontent as it relates to their experience with their parent. And so these things don't happen in a linear fashion. I don't want you to think that I'm presenting to you something that this stuff not going to work in a neat, clean way in a real family situation. What I'm telling you is that these are tools that we have available to us that we can pick and choose according to our own assessment of situation and family dynamics that we can offer. Here's some feedback. Go ahead, Mary, you can ready to say something.
One thing I was thinking about this is it takes a lot of education with parents too, as far as the difference between thinking and feeling, because it's very easy to make an I statement that has nothing to do with your feelings.
Yes.
I was in session once with a mom and daughter, and we did this whole spiel on, I statements, and her response was, I think that you're being a selfish little brat.
That's the natural tendency.
Yeah, and so it takes a lot of education and an insight on the parent, because that's a parent who's got some feelings going on there, because you responding to a child by thinking she's a selfish little brat has got some feelings in you, but you're not identifying them outwardly yet, and maybe potentially not even inwardly. So I think that this skill it can be really difficult to learn, because it means you have to be pretty introspective on yourself and be willing to share your feelings, because that can be pretty scary. Particularly if you have a rocky relationship with your child. If you're putting your feelings out, it's much easier to put your thoughts out there than it is to put your feelings out there.
Now, this is an enactment, and I want us to really take inventory on this moment and what Mary just revealed by peeling yet another layer back as it relates to this specific skill. The thing that I love about what you're saying, Mary, is parents really need to be educated and taught how to do this. That's what I hear you saying. And that's our job. When we have children in TBS and PRP, and we're going into homes, and we are quote unquote working with the identified client, which is the child, we always need to know that one of the greatest impacts that we can have on this child's life is educating their parent how to parent them without our support. And so a big part of that responsibility is teaching our parents how to get in touch. One, to monitor and be mindful of what's going on with them. Because a lot of times when we're in tough, turbulent situations, we lose ourselves. We're not even aware what our heart's doing, or that we're overwhelmed, or that we're stressed, or that we're angry, or that we're hurt. We don't even have time to be doing all that because we're surviving. We're preoccupied with survival. And that can be a treacherous process. So when you're coming in as the professional and you're observing this mom who's stressed, who doesn't have a release valve, doesn't have someone they can talk to like this, don't have someone who have the information that we have, who could observe this and know this could be a sticking point for her. And you're able to sit down at her kitchen table or dining room table and share with her, I observed this happening with you. And I'm not sure if you are aware of what's going on inside of you right now, and how important that is to finding a solution for what's happening with your children. And I just wanted to share with you a concept called iMessages, which gives you the opportunity to take ownership and take inventory on what's happening with you emotionally. And I want to do a exercise with you, if you would allow me, to expose you to what this is all about. And that's the word. That's the word. Any other feedback? Yes.
I was going to say that unless you do introduce all that education and things, some parents might look at this and this could really fly in the face of their cultural beliefs, because some people feel that they are the parent, they are in charge, children should be seen and not heard, and not, they're in charge.
Yes.
And children do not have a choice. So
Yes.
this can really, I've had difficulty sometimes with parents who feel that, you know, they need to go, instead of being least restrictive, they need to go in most restrictive and come in like gangbusters
Absolutely.
and put their child in their place.
That's
And
right.
that's all, and that's the way they were taught.
Mhm.
That's what worked for them,
Mhm.
especially some grandparents that I've worked with.
Absolutely.
And so this can be challenging at first for people to
Mhm.
wrap their minds around,
Absolutely.
and they might be a little resistant to it because
Mhm.
they may feel like it goes against their cultural beliefs.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And that's why the idea of taking a family who's been through a great deal of trauma, a child who has very highly elevated symptoms that are being enacted, and allowing the program to have access to them for 30 to 60 days, expecting a total resolution is insane to me.
Yeah.
You know, because, what you're saying, Angie, is absolutely true. There is a therapeutic relationship building process that we need to navigate prior to even introducing some of these things. Or for families granting us the permission to have the influence and to be someone who they are authorizing to teach them new ways of looking at this difficult situation. And so all of those cultural differences that you raise are very, very real. And they've transpired through generations. So they've been standing for a long time, and they have very, very deep roots. And it's not wise or even remotely intelligent for us to think that we can come in with these concepts and people are just going to embrace them, you know. So we have to be very skillful, tactful, and targeted in the way that we begin to train and teach some alternatives. But really, you know, I think one of the things that I've used pretty consistently as I've worked in the community and have shared this information, when I run into sometimes that resistance, I like tracking with people their family dynamics and tracking what kind of outcomes they have produced. You know, I'm not, listen, I'm not here to judge your methodology, you know, but I do think it's important for us to look at what kind of results are we achieving with this approach.